As the fallout of Damien's murder continues on The Young and the Restless, his portrayer, Jermaine Rivers, is talking about a lost opportunity. He saw that the Damien-Lily-Kane triangle could have played out for quite some time. Now, that's not going to happen. After doing an Instagram post about his exit from the top-rated soap, Rivers chatted with Soap Opera Digest about his run in Genoa City, or rather Nice, France, coming to an abrupt end. The actor was hoping to play out the developing love story with Lily, and how that might have affected his tenuous relationship with his former boss, Kane. It probably would have been very interesting to have more scenes with Kane, because now we're rivals, Rivers speculated. In this juncture of the storytelling, Lily chose Damien, so that would have been interesting to go back to Genoa City and play to that tension. That chess game could have been played out with me and Kane. Rivers added that he was looking forward to building a relationship with his mother Amy, who's on the upswing after facing some health challenges. Bonding with Nate and repairing damage with Holden were on his list of things to do too. Rivers noted that behind the scenes, the cast and crew of The Young and the Restless are like family and genuinely enjoy working with one another, an aspect that resonated with the actor. He explained, "I like to bring that element wherever I go, because if you feel good about what you do and you can make other people feel good about what they're doing and you can be supportive, then that tide raises all the ships." Might the actor be up for taking on a role on one of the other 4 daytime soap operas? "I wouldn't be opposed to it at all," he responded. "But again, I'm an actor, so I want to do a multitude of things. I know that I'm a better actor now from being on Young and the Restless because I know I can handle this workload. I would probably like to do theater. I might want to do some more feature films, but I would never say no to any genre within the art of film and television." Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, July 18th have Audra and Kyle crossing the line, Jack teaching Billy a painful lesson, and Sharon taking matters into her own hands to help Nick. Audra has a lot riding on this trip to France. She needs to seduce Kyle so that she can ensure Vibrante's financial future. Her banter with Kyle convinced Kane to go ahead with their fragrance competition, but she needs to do more than win that contest to come out on top. Audra needs to hook up with Kyle so that Victor will have irrefutable proof that the Jabot heir is not the man for Claire. On Friday's episode, watch for Kyle and Audra to cross the line. Will Kyle end up forking over $5 million to Victor? If so, he may as well stay in France because he's also promised to leave Genoa City if he hurts Claire. Kyle will have to use all his wits to resist temptation. Jack is not happy that Billy plans on allying himself with Kane so that he can get Chancellor Industries back. When they last spoke, Jack warned Billy that he had better be careful or he'd be out not one, but two opportunities. Billy wanted to know if Jack meant that he'd pull funding for Abbott Communications. On Friday's show, watch for Jack to teach Billy a painful lesson. If Jack does yank his support of Abbott Communications, Billy and Sally will be thrown for a loop. Jack may feel that Billy has to lose big so that he gives up his vendetta to take down Victor. The Abbott patriarch might hope that Billy will thank him later for doing what needs to be done. We all know Sharon cares deeply for Nick. Victor's son has been on edge even before he found the murder weapon that was planted in his train cabin. On Friday's show, watch for Sharon to take matters into her own hands to help Nick. Does this mean Sharon will ask Chance to give her the inside scoop on what's going on with the investigation? Or will Sharon find a way to get Nick and everyone else safely off Kane's estate? Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Not to beat a dead horse, but if we were lost as to why the GCPD would rehire Chance as a detective, we're no more clear on Kane hiring him as a private eye. Chance had one job: prevent a murder before it happened. Obviously, no one is surprised that this was asking too much of Genoa City's finest, but common sense questions remain. Why does the billionaire with the CCTVs everywhere not have a security team? He thought he was going to be murdered. And he relied on chance? Come on! And why hasn't he looked at the CCTVs to see where the murderer came from, went to, and if they revealed themselves? We can't seriously be the only ones wanting to know. Anyone else wondering why people claimed all night that the maze had been changed, but Kane and the murderer had no problems with navigation? And why has Chance not checked for other victims, and instead sent all the suspects off to chat amongst themselves before talking to any witnesses? He hasn't even warned anyone not to drink from the bars. Where's that bottle and glasses anyway? No, not asking for their safety. At this point, we need a drink. Something tells us Damien wasn't the last victim in the French Riviera, and that nothing is as it seems. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Kyle loses control. The young and restless spoilers for Friday, July 18th hint that Sharon and Jack are done sitting around. They're taking matters into their own hands. Jack has had enough of Billy's Billiness. He knew his brother was irresponsible. He knew his brother was impulsive, spoiled, and self-pitying. But he hoped that giving Billy everything he claimed he wanted would at least make Billy shut up. Nope. No matter how supportive Jack is, no matter how trusting Jack is, no matter how generous Jack is, Billy always wants more. Now Billy is furious that Jack expects Billy to run the company Jack gave him money for, instead of chasing after the next shiny object. Billy threw a whole tantrum to make his point. He expected Jack to roll over as usual. This time, Jack isn't rolling over. Nick has decided he's going to help Chance with the investigation into who stabbed Damien. Oh, did Nick say help? He meant take over. Nick is sure he can do this. How hard can it be? Nick is a Newman. Newmans are good at everything. Sharon has known Nick for a long time. She knows he can sometimes get overzealous. So Sharon is going to save Nick from himself. Audra is gorgeous. Audra has been parading half-naked in front of Kyle for how long now? As for Kyle, he's been away from Claire for the same amount of time. And a man has needs. He can't be expected to keep himself under control. Not with a gorgeous, half-naked Audra in front of him. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that the drugged bourbon bottle may resurface. So will an Abbott fall under suspicion next? Y&R's latest whodunit could take another complex turn depending on where the missing bottle ultimately shows up. Shortly after Damien Kane's murder, the dagger went missing along with the presumably drugged bottle of bourbon from Kane Ashby's private stash. The glasses Kane and Damien were drinking from also disappeared from the crime scene. Nick found the dagger in his sleeping car bathroom, but there was no sign of the bourbon bottle or glasses. Since Nick is clearly being framed, why didn't the person behind that frame-up plant the rest of the evidence in his sleeping car too? Carter is our top killer suspect right now, so let's consider what his mindset might be. We're dealing with an employee who is totally loyal and willing to take matters into his own hands to help his boss. Carter may have wiped Damien out because he was blocking Kane's path to Lily Winters and framed Nick to throw the Newmans into turmoil. However, Carter could cause another curveball if he plants the bourbon bottle on someone else. Maybe Carter will create an even bigger mess by making it look like Nick had an accomplice. Could an Abbott become a frame-up victim too? After all, Kane's agenda involves going after all the key players back in Genoa City, including Newman Enterprises, Jabbo, and Abbott Communications. Carter might want to throw the Abbotts off their game as well with some frame-up drama. Jack Abbott, Billy Abbott, or even Diane Jenkins Abbott could get tangled up in the murder investigation if the bourbon bottle points to one of them somehow. The bottle containing what's left of the drugged bourbon could get planted in one of their sleeping cars to further muddle this case. Carter might make it seem like Jack, Diane, or Billy drugged the bottle before Nick threw the dagger. Of course, Carter could also just hope that by turning this murder mystery into a huge mess, It'll be harder for Chance Chancellor and eventually the nice authorities to make sense of it all. The chaos might be a strategy to get away with murder and make sure Kane doesn't go down for anything. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers say the missing bourbon bottle and perhaps even the glasses could show up somewhere eventually, so stick with us for updates on the next round of shocking news. Sally and Chelsea aren't going to dance with each other anytime soon, especially since they both share history with Adam on The Young and the Restless. But that's not the case for actresses Courtney Hope and Melissa Claire Egan. They got together for a spontaneous dance that you need to see for yourself. On Instagram, Hope reposted a fun TikTok video of herself dancing along with her Y&R co-star. She stood front and center as Egan stood behind her. Set to the tune Single Ladies by Beyoncé. CNCA, the ladies put their twist on the hit song that still has us grooving into 2025. Hope and Egan strutted their stuff as they moved their hips and whipped their hands in the hair. They worked on the signature dance moves that were shown in the iconic music video. Hope captioned the video, "Spontaneous dance breaks ahead. Looks like these two get into some hijinks behind the scenes. Y&R fans would love to see Chelsea and Sally have a dance-off. Can you imagine? They could have a dance-off to prove who's more worthy of Adam's love." As expected, fans took to the comments section to react to their epic dance. This video brought out the Bayhive because they brought the Beyoncé gifs. Others were in awe of their moves. One fan wrote, "Wow, great routine, ladies." Another fan commented, "I adore that you two are buds." Some fans were inspired by their moves and wanted to bring this kind of sass to their lives. "You guys are so badass. I love this. I'm going to keep expecting these," another user joked. Meanwhile, another fan shared our same thoughts. "We enjoy seeing them on Y&R, even if they don't always share the same scene together. I love you two ladies on Young and the Restless," they concluded. It's the last person you'd suspect. That's why it's brilliant. On the June 17th episode of The Young and the Restless, Nick went running to his mommy and daddy to cry that he was being set up for Damien's stabbing, while Phyllis gloated about how smart she was to have figured it out. Phyllis always thinks she's the smartest person in any room. Has she outsmarted herself? Us? Or Kane? Phyllis came to France with one goal and one goal only: to meet Dumas and get him to hand over Chancellor Industries to her. Once she found out Dumas was Kane, Phyllis figured her goal was as good as achieved. All she had to do was get Kane to love her. And how hard can that be? Everybody loves Phyllis. When that didn't happen, Phyllis put her beautiful mind to work on a more nuanced plan. Phyllis is the one behind Damien's murder. Why? Pay attention now. Phyllis killed Damien, then framed Nick. Badly. Why badly? So that he's quickly exonerated. Everyone will assume that Kane did it. Victor already does, and Victor is never wrong. Then, when Nick is set free, Phyllis will frame Kane, much better now, so well that no one will be able to figure out how she did it. But it's not because Phyllis wasn't supposed to send Kane to prison. It's because Phyllis then wants to go to Kane and offer to unframe him even better than she framed him. And her price is Chancellor. It's brilliant. It's foolproof. It's classic Phyllis, which means it will all blow up spectacularly. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of July 21st reveal there will be some shockers and bombshells. Fans can expect Chance Chancellor to possibly find a clue in Damien Kane's death. Audra Charles will be vulnerable as she worries about Amy Lewis. Plus, Billy Abbott could blow up. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with the murder investigation in Nice. Chance made it clear that he is out of his jurisdiction, but there are things he can do in an unofficial capacity until Nice police arrive. Due to the treacherous mountain path, the police might not arrive for hours, perhaps even a day or two. That's if Kane Ashby is being honest about sending his staff to get help. In any case, Chance will want statements from everyone while the information is fresh in their minds. There will also be the mystery of who planted the bloody knife in Nick Newman's quarters. That will likely lead to Sharon Newman defending Nick. Phyllis Summers has made comments recently about Sharon only being interested in protecting Nick and the Newman family. So, this might be Sharon's time to shine, at least in Nick and his family's eyes. It could also get Sharon closer to rekindling her romance with Nick. Over with Audra, she could get vulnerable after learning about Damien's death. Audra got extremely close to Damien's mother, Amy. The woman is battling cancer, and when she learns about her son's murder, it will be devastating for her. Audra doesn't get too close to many people. Amy became like a mother figure to her. Kyle Abbott hasn't had the chance to see Audra this vulnerable. It could lead to unintentional passion. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for next week, reveal that Billy could blow up. Jack Abbott could decide to yank the funding for Abbott Communications. This will leave Billy in a rage. It seems that Billy keeps getting blocked from everything, but for good reason. If all he's doing is seeking revenge, then he's not focused on building a good company. So, stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of July 21st, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Nick found a bloody weapon wrapped in plastic in his bedroom on the latest episode of Y&R, and he's burning up. Nick has been framed for murder on The Young and the Restless. He found a bloody knife in his bedroom. It looks similar to the knife that was in Damien's back. But who would Nick? There could be two surprising suspects in this juicy storyline. Nick is not associated with Damien. Yet, someone planted a bloody knife in his room to make it look like he had killed him. This doesn't make sense since that weapon was found in Damien's back at the scene of the murder. Also, someone is having way too much fun with knives lately. Prior to his death, Damien found a random set of knives on the train. He wondered who would leave them around. Damien figured out what we already knew. The knives were a ploy to see who would kill whom. This could have been Kane's doing, since he thinks that someone is out to get him. But they got Damien instead, and sadly, he's gone. Damien is dead, and Nick has been framed. He's not happy. Understandably, he doesn't understand why he has a red X on him. Two people in Nice could have framed him. In this case, it could be a scorned ex. Sharon was missing when Damien died. She also didn't show up at the scene of the crime. Did she have a lapse in her mental health and try to blame him for the murder? Does Nick have a motive in this? Maybe he wanted to kill Damien and frame Kane, who's going after his mother's company. He could have a motive, but it's kind of far-fetched. Maybe it's another scorned ex like Phyllis, who wants to work with Kane. She'll do anything to get on his good side. Why would someone go through great lengths to frame Nick? Who do you think it is? What are your thoughts on this murder mystery? Share your burning theories in the comments section below. General Hospital fans need to brace for some sad news, as Tristan Rogers has been diagnosed with cancer. His publicist, Anthony Turk, released a statement regarding the actor's health condition. Rogers plays the iconic super spy town district attorney, Robert Scorpio, a role he originated in 1980, and has played the character on and off again over the years. In addition, the soap legend was also once on The Young and the Restless, playing a character that has been talked about a lot lately, Colin Atkinson. Rogers also originated that character in 2010 and appeared on the soap now and again until 2019. Rogers was in the Amazon series, Studio City, playing Doc, which earned him a Daytime Emmy in the category of Outstanding Performance by a Supporting Actor in a Digital Drama Series in 2008. In the official press release statement, it was noted that Rogers is hopeful and working with his medical team closely on his cancer treatment plan. However, it's also been a challenging time for him and his family, as they all face physical and emotional burdens that are linked to this type of diagnosis. The statement noted that Rogers and his family are requesting understanding and privacy at this time. It also relayed how deeply grateful the actor and his family are when it comes to love and support from family and friends. In addition, it states that Rogers wants his fans to know how much he appreciates them, their loyalty, and encouragement over the years. The statement also added, "This support means more to him now than ever. Future updates will be shared if deemed appropriate by Tristan and his family." GH fans last saw Robert in November 2024, where he exited the little town after reuniting with his longtime love and ex-wife, Holly Sutton. Interestingly enough, he had just discovered that Sasha Corbin was his and Holly's daughter, and despite the lie, he chose to be with Holly anyway. On behalf of everyone here at CDL, we send strength, best wishes, and positive thoughts to Tristan Rogers and his family during this challenging time. General Hospital spoilers note that the land of Port Charles hasn't been the same since Robert left, so everyone at CDL, along with all his fans, are rooting for Tristan Rogers' smooth and easy recovery. CDL is where it's at for the best General Hospital news, updates, and spoilers. So visit us often for everything you need to know about where GH is concerned. The drama on the young and the restless is set to escalate between July 18th and July 25th, 2025, as Kane Ashby becomes involved in a murder investigation after Damian Kane's stabbing. In the upcoming episodes, Phyllis will stand by Kane, while Lily will get caught up in the saga simply because the victim is close to her. Meanwhile, Audra and Kyle will go a step too far in their faux relationship and agree to cover up for their actions. Furthermore, Jack Abbott will battle Billy in a dramatic struggle for control, and the case surrounding Damian will cast suspicion on an unlikely suspect. Kane Ashby will still need to be concerned about the suspicions surrounding him for the murder of Damian Kane, especially when Phyllis Summers finds him standing over Damian's bloody body. Kane will maintain his innocence, but evidence will begin piling up against him. Amanda Sinclair will formally come aboard to defend him, vowing to get him cleared of all charges. Lily Winters will find herself in an uncomfortable predicament, particularly after disclosing to Chance Chancellor that she was in a relationship with Damian. She does not want to believe Kane is capable of such violence, but the disbelief may be gnawing at her. Kane will ask her to have faith in him, and their history could play a factor in how Lily ultimately reacts in the coming weeks. Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles are in for a surprise. Following weeks of flirting, teasing, and denying themselves the temptations of passion, Kyle and Audra will finally give in to their desires. The weight of their affair will hang around their necks and hearts, especially after Kyle receives horrific news about Claire Newman's father, Cole Howard. Kyle and Audra will struggle with guilt and agree to keep their affair a secret between themselves to avoid complications with Claire and Nate. The secret will only get heavier with more complications and added concerns. The tensions bubbling at Abbott Communications will come to a head as Jack Abbott confronts Billy with a hard ultimatum. Jack will pull his investment from the company, disputing the effectiveness of Billy's leadership and lack of accountability. Jack's bold action might just set off a corporate war, one that could once again displace the Abbott family. Billy will be enraged by Jack's ultimatum, and it is not outside the realm of possibility that Sally Spectra will find herself as the unfortunate in-between in the power struggle. The panic created by Jack's ultimatum could be the foundation of a bigger shift in the leadership direction of the Abbott family business. As Chance works through his investigation, suspicions will fall on Carter, who could have been loyal to a boss so powerful that even murder was not off the cards. Carter will have the motive of protecting someone close to him, which could mean eliminating Damian and interfering in his relationship with Lily. Victor Newman, having pressured Audra to interfere in Claire and Kyle's relationship, will back off his plans and give Claire space to grieve Cole's passing. Victor will see that now is not the time to incite conflict, but his silence will be short-lived. The young and the restless, spoilers for July 16th, have Devin connecting the dots, Amanda questioning Kane's motives, and Nick making a shocking discovery. Amanda came back into the lives of Devin, Lily, and others a few months ago when she revealed herself as Dumas's lawyer. Kane may need an attorney more than ever, given recent events involving Damian. On Wednesday's show, watch for Amanda to question Kane's motives. Did he invite everyone to his chateau to reveal his business plans? Did he want to reunite with Lily? Or did he want to get Damian in his vicinity, given that his relationship with Lily had been moving towards romance? Nick may not be the only person who is ready to leave Kane's chateau. On Wednesday's show, watch for Devin to start connecting some dots. He and everyone else who came to Nice know more than they knew before, starting with Dumas being Kane. Now, it's time for someone to step up and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. That person could very well be Devin. He's a smart and strategic man who keeps his eyes and ears open. Devon could be the person who makes sense out of what's been going on in the maze of shrubbery. On Wednesday's show, watch for Nick to make a shocking discovery. Whatever he finds, we expect Nick to take action to protect his loved ones. Not only are his parents, Victor and Nikki, on the scene, but so are his two former wives, Sharon and Phyllis. Nick might find another physical danger that he needs to protect people from. Or perhaps, he just wants to keep Phyllis from making another impulsive error. No one could have predicted that this sojourn everyone took to France could have ended in death. Nick's going to have to step up to make sure everyone gets out safely. Jermaine Rivers has no ill will about Damien's death on Y&R. Damien's death shocked the young and the restless fans, but nobody was more surprised than Jermaine Rivers. Although this is the end for Rivers and his character, the actor has no ill will toward the show. When Rivers joined Y&R earlier this year, he was immediately thrown into a big storyline. His character Damien reunited with his estranged mother Amy and learned about his half-brother Nate. Damien decided to trade Los Angeles for Genoa City and quickly made himself at home. He also caught the attention of Lily. Yet, as Damien and Lily's romance blossomed, trouble loomed. During the trip to France for Aristotle Dumas' party, Lily was stunned to discover that Dumas is her ex-husband Cain. Lily reassured Damien that she and Cain were over, and there was no future with him. However, on the July 14th episode, tragedy struck. While Cain and Damien were talking, a mystery assailant threw a knife into Damien's back and killed him. It appears it's officially the end for Damien and Rivers. Although his character's demise came out of left field, the actor has no animosity toward his bosses. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, Rivers reveals he was happy with his brief time at Y&R. My position on it was whether it be 1 day, 1 year, or 10 years, I come in, I do the job that I was hired to do, and I do it with a sense of gratitude and intentionality to be of service to the storyline, the character, and my fellow actors, and the rest, it is what it is. Rivers is keeping his head held high with his exit. As for what's next for the actor, that's unclear. Although some are speculating that maybe they haven't seen the last of Damien. Is Cain's very own son out to get him? Young and the restless fans are spiraling over a bombshell theory from viewer Lorraine Dorsey that could flip Genoa City upside down. What if the mastermind behind Damien's shocking death isn't some random enemy, but Cain's own flesh and blood? We're talking about Sam, Cain's son. Yes, the same Sam nobody has laid eyes on in years. Lorraine thinks Sam may be holding one massive grudge against dear old dad, and he's finally ready to strike. The theory suggests Sam poisoned Cain's private liquor stash, which both Cain and Damien drank from. When the poison wasn't enough to finish the job, a knife suddenly found its way into Damien's back. Now here's the kicker. Cain doesn't think Damien was the target at all. He's convinced the real target was him. So why would someone want Cain dead? Lorraine's answer is spicy. Sam wants Cain's fortune, and he's willing to slice and dice anyone in his path to get it. Think about it. Sam could have grown up feeling abandoned or cheated out of his place in Cain's wealthy world. Maybe he watched his dad climb the corporate ladder and build a privileged life while Sam was left in the shadows. That's a recipe for resentment and murder. It's not hard to imagine Sam lurking in the background all these years, plotting his revenge. Sure, he was a toddler the last time we saw him, but with Saurus running rampant on soaps, he could be a teen by now. Maybe even a young adult. And we know how messy teens can be when they're born in the mess that is Genoa City. Poisoning the stash could have been his plan A. And when that failed, he went full slasher with a flying knife. Could this be a calculated move to eliminate Cain and step into his shoes as the ultimate power player? If this theory holds water, Sam's entrance would send shockwaves through Genoa City. Picture Cain confronting his estranged son in a deadly father-son showdown. Who would come out alive, and who would walk away with everything? Fans are already salivating over this potential twist, and if Lorraine's theory is even half right, Y&R could be on the verge of its juiciest family drama in years. Who killed Damien on Y&R? The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, July 15th featured escalating tensions and shocking revelations as Cain, Phyllis, Nick, and others dealt with a potential murder in the club car. As suspicions rose, so did the doubts about Kane's involvement in the crime. Kane's guests gathered in the club car to discuss the unsettling situation. Nick couldn't help but wonder if Phyllis knew what had happened, given her proximity to the scene. Amanda wanted to speak with her client, but Kane insisted he had nothing to hide. Meanwhile, Lily grew increasingly eager for answers, while Chance warned that the investigation would be unconventional, given that he had no authority there. Kane denied any wrongdoing, but the group was unsettled. Nick pointed out that not everyone was present, and Chance explained that the authorities wouldn't be arriving for hours. While Lily was shocked to learn that Damien had been murdered, the conversation shifted to whether Kane might have had a motive. Devon expressed concern about being considered a suspect, but Kane assured them he had no suspicion of anyone in particular. Chance began questioning everyone individually, starting with Phyllis. She admitted she'd been lost in the maze with Jack and Diane before they split up. Phyllis gave Chance a detailed account of what she had witnessed. She described Kane lowering Damien's body to the ground, but insisted that neither of them had touched the weapon. Chance pressed Phyllis for more information, even suggesting that she might be covering for Kane to secure a job. Phyllis firmly denied any involvement in the cover-up. Meanwhile, Nick spoke with Sharon about the crime, explaining that Damien had been stabbed with an antique dagger. Sharon was shocked by the news, and by the fact that Phyllis had witnessed the aftermath. Nick couldn't shake the feeling that Kane might try to blame someone, particularly Victor, for the attack. Sharon, concerned about Phyllis, worried about how this would affect her moving forward. In the dining area, Kane and Amanda had a tense conversation. Amanda urged Kane to be honest about the events, reminding him that the facts weren't looking good. Kane maintained that there was no evidence linking him to the murder, but Amanda pointed out that he was the only one who had been with Damien when he died. Kane tried to justify his actions, reminding Amanda that the dagger was intended for him, and he had been drugged, just like Damien. Amanda was not convinced, listing facts that seemed to point directly at Kane. She also called out his refusal to contact the authorities, insisting that they had the jurisdiction to investigate. Lily, emotionally shaken by Damien's death, found herself questioning everything. As Abby offered comfort, Lily couldn't help but wonder if she was somehow to blame for Damien's death. She wrestled with the idea that Kane might have been the one to kill him, even though she still couldn't believe he would go so far.